As an ADS kid, most of my weekends followed the same formula. I'd wake up early and watch the morning cartoons/rage. Then I'd do a bunch of fun activities like skinning my knees at netball, rollerblading in my hypercolor t-shirt, or putting an empty packet of Twisties in the oven to make a tiny Twisties keyring. And in the afternoons I would settle in to watch a couple of my favorite VHS tapes. For those of you playing along at home, VHS tapes were the Netflix of the ADS. They were big chunky tapes that you'd shove into a machine and hope to hell that one of your siblings hadn't taped over them. Awo, one of my favorite weekend watches was Overboard, a little romantic comedy starring Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. A few weeks ago I decided to relive my childhood and pull out the old VHS. Just kidding, I found it on Netflix. And oh, things have changed, guys. Overboard is a classic tale of two people from different backgrounds meeting, initially hating each other, then slowly falling in love. Listen, Oprah's Greenleaf is Netflix's top drama. We deep dive on our pop culture podcast. Post continues after audio. It was your normal run-of-the-mill romantic comedy where no one was really harmed in the process and everyone ended up happy in the end. Except for, Mother Flippy Goldie Hawn's character, who was kidnapped against her will and forced to raise four snotty-nosed children as her own. I kind of forgot about that bit. You see, in the movie Hawn plays the role of Joanna Staton, a spoiled heiress who lives on a yacht with her husband Grant Staton III. She's pretty bloody awful, as if Paris Hilton was a lifestyle blogger and it was the 1980s and everyone lived on yachts. While docked in the rural town of Elk Cove, Oregon, Joanna hires local carpenter Dean Profit to remodel her closet. Of course, they immediately hate each other. She's rich/he's poor/she's a snob/he's a knockabout bloke, etc. etc. So Dean starts working on the closet and puts up with Joanna's snooty attitude because she's paying him. He does a knock-up job of the closet, but then Joanna chucks a wobbly because he used oak instead of cedar, despite her not actually requesting cedar at the start. They have a lil blue and he agrees to redo the closet if she pays for the work he's done. She's not happy about this though. He tells her she's just making things up to complain about because her life is so boring and pampered. Then she pushes him off the yacht into the ocean. Cut to later that night when Joanna goes on deck to retrieve her wedding ring and falls overboard, hence the name of the movie. The next day a local news station runs a story about Joanna being found in the water. The fall has caused amnesia and she has no idea who she is or where she belongs. This is where things get a bit iffy. Dean, a widow with four scruffy-looking kids, sees her on TV and decides to go pick her up from the hospital. He pretends she's his wife and brings her back to his house to work off her unpaid bill. Yep, he brings a woman suffering from considerable memory loss back to his house and basically makes her the unpaid maid. Of course, Joanna is initially confused but soon accepts that she must be his wife and the mother of his children.